Welcome to the Bird's Nest. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Mama Bird here, Leslie.
Big week. It's a big week. Lots to talk about this week. Eagles kept us busy this week.
Oh yeah.
How's
Where you want
everyone
to start?
doing?
Excited. I can't believe it's next Friday. We play an actual game that counts. Can't
Yep.
believe
So
it.
we're recording this on a Monday. I think it's Monday, August 26th. So next episode. Oh no, not next episode, but the Eagles will play in a little bit over a week. First game is September 5th? Friday, September 5th, right? So,
It might be the 6th, but
Friday, September 6th. Friday,
Yeah,
September
Friday,
6th, their
September
first
6th.
game.
Fifth
The
is the first game.
season kicks off on the 5th, Thursday the
Yeah.
5th. But, all right, yeah, so here we go. I guess you guys want to get the preseason game out of the way? I personally didn't watch it, so I'm going to lean on y'all.
I watched it, but I was not impressed at all. Well,
Yeah, I don't
one thing
know.
I will say about the preseason game is I watched it because everybody, of course, was on Cooper Dejean being in there and seeing what this kid coming off an injury and seeing what he had to bring to the table. Wasn't impressed, but we'll see as time moves on.
He
But
had
this
one
game
nice
was,
clip.
He had about 2 days of practice. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not down to the kid. I understand. Like it was his first time up in the big lights. I get it. But yeah, that was all I was watching for in this preseason game. Like I wasn't really into it like that. Like really nobody. These are the people that were on the bubble that are just trying to make the roster. So
Only as
um,
good as your 53rd man. It matters. I didn't have time, but I was interested. I wanted to rely on y'all. I wanted to play the fan that doesn't know what's going on. So you said Cooper Dejean didn't look so good, Mom?
not at first. I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know. I couldn't tell. Like I said, it was such a small sample size to see anything. But he made a few mistakes, which, like I said, it could have been nerves. You know, like they got an interception and it got called back because he touched the guy before the 5 yards. So he got an
After the
interception
five
called
yards?
back, but he touched the guy. He had to
After.
wait 5 yards to touch it, I think, or something like that. So
Oh,
he touched him.
on a
It was a
kickoff
penalty.
or illegal contact?
No,
no, I think it was illegal
it was
contact.
Illegal
illegal
contact.
contact.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
after the 5 yards. After
yeah,
five
after the
yards.
5 yard. Yeah.
So he just kind of pushed him. It was just a light tap. You know, I think it was, like I said, just nervousness and stuff like that. But it got a pick called back. So, you know, just little mental mistakes. But I think, like I said, that it was his first time or whatever.
Yeah.
He'll
I,
get there.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Like you still had to adjust to the speed of the game. He looked what we were fearing. He didn't look quick. He didn't look as quick as you need to be to play corner. Um,
Mhm.
which is not on him. He has a long speed. He kind of has the burst, but it's just that quickness, that agility. So he looked a step slow, but it's like I said, it's his like third day of live action. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that. He looked new. You could tell he was on the field. Like you could tell he looked new. He didn't look better than everybody else he was up against. So I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think about Nolan Smith playing in that game? What that
That
was
was
like a
my
big
next.
thing on Eagles Twitter that Nolan Smith was
Hmm,
playing in the game, to
that was
begin
my
with,
next question. Yeah.
let alone how he performed. But what do you guys think about him even playing in that game?
Not
Well,
good.
they're saying that he's trying to make. Yeah, it's not not looking good for him making that roster, boy. Like I don't
Not
know.
good.
I don't know. They're not seeing something. They're not seeing something. It's a shame because I like the kid personally. You know, I feel
Personally. You know?
I don't know him personally, but I like the kid. I like his interviews. I like the way he speaks and the way he looks at football. It's just on the field that something is missing there that they're not seeing. And they had him out there for a long time, a long time in this
Well,
game.
he's
He's
Like
always,
playing.
that was the knock on him coming out, is he's undersized. But I didn't. Again, I didn't see he didn't look well on the field. He was
He just,
struggling.
I mean, when you expect somebody to be a difference maker with the first team, he wasn't a difference maker with the third team and the fourth
Mm,
team, the guys that aren't going to make, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's
if
not
you'd have
good.
threw
And the fact that he's
Hassan
out there,
Reddick
like
out
those
there,
guys,
if you'd have
yeah,
thrown Hassan Reddick out there, which is a stretch because Hassan Reddick to me is one of the best pass rushers in the league, but you throw Hassan Reddick out there, you're gonna tell that he's out there. You know what I mean? Like
he's a big fish in a small pond. Yeah,
you couldn't
he
really
didn't
tell
look
him.
like that at all. Couldn't tell.
That's not good.
Not good at all. Like I said, I'm rooting for him, and he'll probably make the 53-man roster. But the fact that he was out there when none of the other guys, not even second stringers, were out there. Like these were all guys that were on the bubble, and Cooper Dejean, who just needed to get some live action. But like the fact that he was out there says a lot. They're not seeing
So,
something.
so
They're not
I
seeing.
honestly am gonna push back on the discourse a little bit. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. No, it's not great. But I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing in the world. He spoke after the game. They were asking him like why were you playing? And he kind of said like I'll never say no to playing football. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get as many reps as I can. So I'll never say no to playing football, which
I
isn't a
mean, what is
bad
he
thing,
gonna
right?
say? They made me
If
go out
he
there.
if he I mean nah, I mean but like if he backs up what he says, like the work ethic and things of that nature, he might not be an impact right away, but hopefully he can come on as the season goes and he starts to get more of those reps. He's got a good group of guys again to learn from around him. He's got a good coach to learn from. So,
did
I
did Jalen
no,
Jalen Hunt play? No, he
no.
didn't play.
None of those
That was
guys
the story.
played.
Jalen Sutton didn't play, but Nolan Smith did.
Oh yeah, that's
So
interesting.
again, not great, but there's still some room for improvement, right?
That's not a
Everybody
And
was
good look,
Jalen
talking.
man.
Jalik said the same thing in his interview. They said, "Do you want to play?" He's like, "Yes, I would play the whole game if I could. Like I want to play. He wanted to play too, but they didn't allow him to play for a reason. Like they had Nolan playing for a reason."
Yeah,
Yeah.
so not the best thing, but again, the city of Philadelphia Eagles fans, we should know very well what it's like, and how long it takes for some edge rushers to come on, a la Brandon Graham. So again, I'm gonna hold out faith for him. He seems like a good character dude. Like, it's different, right? Because like with Barnett, it was stuff like he couldn't stop getting penalties, or you didn't really hear good things about his character. It's always him, like the infamous Nick Sirianni quote. It's always him, right? So that type of thing that might not lead to you growing to what your full potential is. It seems like Nolan Smith has a good head on his shoulders, like Brandon Graham does. He's right behind Brandon Graham. He's learning from him, so I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It just might take longer than we want it to take.
Which he's not even a projected starter, right?
Yeah.
He's behind Sweat and he's behind Huff, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Graham to worry about. You got a Hunt. So I mean,
Graham's Graham's a role player. Like he's just this is his retirement
it's still
tour.
snaps. You know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
snaps. But I mean, to me, that's the area that I'm really not worried about. Like I know things haven't been as good as we wanted them to look in preseason, but I also think it's preseason. But I think we got a big year coming from the big two, JD and JC. I think Milton Williams is the most underrated player on that D line. I think Milton Williams
See,
is
that's
going to let everybody know what the real deal is this year. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess especially when the Kobe Dean is getting the raves that he's getting this year, right? Like everyone's saying that he's finally coming into his own and he's playing good football. He looks good, so that's his boy. He's the one that vouched for Nolan, so I'm sure Nolan will
hmm.
have the I don't want to be the weakest link mentality. I'm sure he'll figure it out. But interesting,
Hopefully.
interesting note.
I'm rooting for,
Hopefully,
like I
right?
said, I'm rooting for the kid. Yeah, I'm rooting for the kid. I'm rooting. So,
Well, we
that was that with that.
Dad and I had our fantasy draft. Oh, you guys were in it too. But we were we were looking at Eagles defense. Dad was like, "Yeah, Eagles D." I was like, "I don't know if you want to take Eagles
Can't
D."
do that yet. Can't do
I
that
was like,
yet.
"I don't know if you want Eagles D." So we'll see, man. We will see. Your boy Anaya Smith got
Yeah,
hurt though, Justin. I did see that.
Yeah, he hasn't even been looking great, so I ain't even, you know, them
he
trick
hasn't. And
not
every
to
time I see
spoil what's
Smith
ahead,
on the back of his jersey, I be getting confused. But yeah,
not,
there's so many Smiths.
not to spoil what's ahead, but them trading for Jahan Dotson, yeah, it's not looking like
Not
he's gonna
looking
get much
good.
this
Well,
year.
they were saying they might put him on the designated for return, the IR, but it's like a special kind of IR where it's like not season ending, but it's before the 53, like it's outside of the 53. So
I would,
it might have been the best thing for him to get hurt, honestly.
yeah, I wouldn't spend a roster spot on him. You know what I'm saying? We got a million DBs trying to make the roster that I feel like can play in a pinch, and he hasn't shown, the media or the fans anything in the preseason. So
Yeah. Speaking of which, first cuts happened. I think today they happened. We're recording on a Monday, so they'll have until tomorrow to make the final cut down to the 53. I was looking at the people that went today. Only notable names I saw were our boy Tanner McKee. Oh no, Will Greer. Our Will Greer didn't. He got waves, and then Zach McPherson. I always liked Zach
Oh,
McPherson.
poor Zach.
He was a good special teamer. Like
I liked him.
he was always the guy
Yeah,
making the tackle on the punts, and like he wasn't a starter. He wasn't a star or anything, but
I
he
liked
was
him. I know
serviceable.
the name. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
he
the
was
name.
serviceable.
I
But
liked
he sent a thank you to the city of Philadelphia today, so
him.
it
Oh,
was over for him. He didn't make the cut.
this is always like the hardest thing for me as far as football season. Like this cut is like so tough because I feel so sorry for all these kids. I mean, I know they know what they got into and all that stuff, but I just feel bad for the kids who can't make it, especially when I know how hard you work. But anyway, being on the practice squad is not it's not so bad. You know, somebody might
Yeah,
pick you up after.
hopefully they bring him back.
They still make $12,000 a week on the practice squad. That ain't bad money.
with with our luck, yeah, he's gonna go somewhere and be a number one corner. It's like a
Hmm.
trend. It's like a trend that Eagles DBs are not great on the Eagles and then go somewhere else and like the best DB in the league.
Green
Always
Bay.
So,
happens. Speaking of that,
You're gonna go
speaking
to
of
Green
that,
Bay.
the talk today was that since Dallas was down a DB, that should we trade James Bradbury to those guys? And I was like, hell no, because that always comes back to bite us in the butt. He will. We got to play them twice a year. You don't trade that dude. I don't care how bad you think he is. You don't trade him interdivisional.
In
somebody
It
division.
does
said
not.
James Brown for CD straight up.
I don't want CD. I don't know why people are so. Hey,
People are trolling. Nobody really wants CD. People are just trolling Cowboys fans.
Yeah. Well, he got paid today. Congrats to CD Lamb.
For
yeah,
sure. For sure.
He
yeah,
got
he
himself a
got his
bag.
bag.
4 years, 136 mil.
Well, be for real. Like, to give him that, it took you that long to come up with that number. It's not like he's getting paid more than Justin Jefferson. Like,
Right, right.
come
Well,
on
I was
now.
looking at it. I can't even look at NFL contracts the same anymore after I saw like the NBA offseason. Them guys,
Yeah,
like I know there's less players, there's more money to
exactly.
give to the players, but like when you got role players signing 4 year, $125 million deals,
It's
I'm looking at
comparable
that like, yo,
revenue.
that's the best receiver in the league, or top
Yeah.
five, whatever you want to say. For him to
Mm.
get 4 for 136, and that's like groundbreaking. Even Jefferson's deal, like that's it. Like y'all couldn't give my boy like 200, nothing. So, but no,
But
that's the first domino to fall. I guess Chase is next. You got what's going on with Ayuk, man. I don't not to digress too much,
Well,
but
listen,
he just
I
wanted some attention.
I drafted him out on accident yesterday. Like I'm like, what the heck, man? Gee whiz. But he's been
yeah, I
at practice
couldn't.
though. He just hasn't been practicing, but he's been there at least on the sideline. That's more than
Once I
CD
saw
was.
that, I was like, and this will kind of it's a good segue into the main chunk of today's episode. But when I saw that he hasn't been practicing, I was like, what? I
Well, your
can't
boy
keep
CeeDee
this
Lamb
guy,
hasn't been practicing either.
huh?
CeeDee Lamb hasn't been practicing either.
Yeah, but CeeDee Lamb is the offense. Brandon Ayuk is the 80th most targeted receiver in the NFL. And you couple that with the fact that he's not practicing, like he's not getting any targets. It doesn't matter how good he is. He can win a route every time. If you're not practicing building rapport, Purdy already hates him. So now you're not going to be on the field to you know what I mean, build a rapport.
Well,
Like
they were
I don't
saying
know.
that
I'm just
that the Commanders were interested in trading for him, so we'll
the
see.
Commanders were interested in trading for him because they traded their number two receiver, presumable number two receiver, Jahan Dawson, to the Eagles for a third round pick and two seventh round picks in exchange for him and a fifth round pick.
And so,
I like, yo, Howie Roseman, bro.
GM of
You
the
can't say nothing.
century.
Like, and it's not just the fact that he adds players; it's the fact that he does it in a way that's cap friendly. Like
Hmm.
if you look at every contract he's ever given, every whatever, every sign. I was telling somebody the other day when Jalen Hurts signed his contract, we were like, "That's too much." Blah blah. I was like, "Bro, do y'all understand the people that still have to get signed after him? In 2 years, that Hurts contract is gonna look like peanuts." And now look, Hurts isn't even in the. I think he's seventh or eighth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even like comparable. You got Jordan Love, you got Trevor Lawrence, you got guys that you
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like are
Yeah,
making more than
everybody
him
got
now.
paid.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I just think
everybody got
that
paid.
man. And then we
And he
just
takes
talked
care
about
of the
it.
players. I just like that our upper office, that Howie and them, they take care of our players.
They
They
do
made
take
sure
care
they
of
got
him.
AJ signed. They made sure they got Devontae
Smith.
signed. They made sure they
Yep.
got Jalen signed. Like, we don't want none of that. Like, yes, we had our issues last year, but we don't want that to be an issue. So I'm just glad that he takes
Keep the
care of
core
who he needs
together.
to take care of. Yeah,
Keep the core
that's
together.
what's up. And
But what
I
do we think
like this
about him?
trade. I like this trade. I like that. Well, the report I was hearing was this. So they had who did they have? They had one old player that does sports commentator now that used to play for the Eagles. I forgot what his name is. But
Ike?
anyway, it wasn't Ike. It was
Talking about Acho.
it's not
Oh,
Acho.
Acho?
It's not Acho. I forgot who it was. But anyway, they were saying that they wanted him to compete. They wanted Dodson to compete in Washington for the number two spot. And they said he started off like gangbusters, but then he had kind of an off season. He kind of lost his confidence a little bit, and they wanted him to not just assume that that number two spot was his, and they wanted him to actually go out there and like earn it, and he just wasn't up for it. So when they saw him out on the field, they were like, he's not competing. Like he just lost his confidence. So
Because they
he
stink.
was he was right. So he was saying that
Yeah.
they didn't really have a quarterback to get him the ball or whatever. So he was saying that change of scenery, coming to Philadelphia under different coaches, and you know somebody to coach him up and try and help him get his confidence back. It could be really beneficial because you're number three now. Like you don't really have to. If you do well, you do well. But we still have AJ, we still have Devontae. Like you're not really going to be called on that much. But it's an opportunity for you to boost your confidence. It's a confidence
You better
booster
be
this
ready
year.
to block. That's all I know. You better be ready to block.
But the
'Cause
thing about the Eagles is we don't play that, yo. Like you're
Yeah,
not just about
and
to
that's
come
what he
here
said.
and not like do you know what I'm saying? You're not about to just
Hmm.
mosey and go through the motions and all that. You're not
okay,
gonna be in the field. Like
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like coming to Philadelphia. He better know that whole like I don't have no confidence and stuff. That's not going to fly for
they
too
don't play there.
long in
you go
Philadelphia.
Nelson Aguilar real quick. Like,
But he
you
was
would not be
hopeful
welcome.
that the change of scenery would be good for him and in boosting his confidence. This is
And I
what
think it
we
will.
would call a confidence booster.
I
Yeah.
mean, you got to remember the guy's a first round pick. He's a former first round pick. He's coming from Penn State, so he's going to have the instant connection in the offense with Barkley. Not that I don't. I think they're he's a little bit younger than Barkley was, but it's still a connection. And then just the mentality that the Eagles offense brings. You know what I mean? Like it's like a when your numbers call, show up. We don't need the guy to be Julio Jones in his prime for crying out loud. We just
Not at
need
all.
35
Not at
passes,
all.
catch them when your numbers call, make the play,
See,
Yep.
but my
and
thing
block.
is, here's my thing, right? I had Jahan Dawson in fantasy last year, so I was really looking at this guy to be a difference maker, like looking at what he's doing. My thing is this: all the stuff you said granted, right? Former first round pick, has the pedigree, whatever. In Washington's case, if you're bringing in a rookie quarterback that's going to start off the bat, you want to surround him with as many key pieces as you can, right? Like, all right, they have Zach Ertz at tight end. We know Zach Ertz isn't going to be, Philadelphia Eagles Zach Ertz, but he's a veteran. He's going to catch the ball on third down. He's going to get you some yard, whatever. They're not asking Jahan Dotson. Washington wasn't asking Jahan Dotson to go out there and beat number one corners and take over game. Like, just catch the ball when Jaden Daniels throws it to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just give Jaden Daniels an
No.
option.
No. That's not what they're asking him to do. You're a former first round pick. You're coming into a contract year. You've been a disappointment for the last 2 seasons. Show us that you're the guy. Show us that we should pay you. Show us that you're
They
worth
just paid
everything.
Terry McLaurin. They just paid him. They had their big money guy.
Right. So the point is, if you're not going to be a leader, then you got to go, bro. We're building for the future. We just got our guy. If we can get a third round pick for this dude, we're shipping him. That's that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of
I agree
like
with that.
he's not talented. He's this and that. It's like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not going to be someone that we can put a C
Mm-hmm.
on your jersey, then there's
Mm-hmm.
no point in having you here, dog. Like at this point, enough is enough. So if what mom's saying is true, he's looking lackadaisical in camp and like he's making his plays, but he doesn't look like a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Then
It was
yeah, why
Brian
not?
Mitchell, by the
What
way.
I think is
Brian Mitchell.
crazy is that they traded him in the division. You don't do that. And like that's why I think it's gonna
Ever.
work out because
Mm-hmm. It
you
always
don't
ends
do
up
that.
biting
Like
the
that
trading team in the butt.
don't
Always. That's why I don't
trade.
want to trade. That's why I don't want
Don't
to
do
trade
that.
James.
Don't do that. Do not do that. I'm
But it was
telling
Brian. It was Brian Mitchell that was reporting that.
you.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I'm not I'm not head over heels like
It's
everybody
the
else is.
it's the
I
fantasy thing. It's the fantasy football thing. I feel you. I feel you.
I
I
just
feel
I
you.
mean I would have
Bro,
been cool with Paris Campbell. I'd have been cool with whoever. Like,
No. And you
way
said
better
it
than Paris
yourself,
Campbell.
though, Justin. You said it yourself a couple of weeks ago. You said, we're going to get that third guy. I just don't think it's anybody on the team right now. You said it. And they went out and they got somebody. You were right.
I'm just not a fan of who they got. Like, I don't think Jahan Dotson's gonna block. I don't think Jahan Dotson's gonna catch the ball on third down.
But
Like
you're
he
saying you
gives.
would have been fine with Paris Campbell and you wouldn't have because you said that third guy is not on the team.
I'm just saying in comparison. Like in comparison, I'd have been cool with Paris Campbell, or if you would have told me Paris Campbell or Jahan Dotson, I'd have been like, don't trade for Jahan Dotson. Like we.
I'm glad they
Paris
did. I like
Campbell's
that they're
stink.
still making. I like that they're still making moves, and I like that they got him. Like I'm happy with it. I feel like sometimes a change of scenery can. And isn't he a Philadelphia kid too? Like didn't he
He went to Penn State for
yeah.
college.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, and he grew up in the area too. He went to high school in the area too, and they were showing like a meme or a reel of like a fake what's the kid that plays on Dallas that went to Penn State too? Defense.
Micah
My brain.
Parsons.
Micah Parsons. They were showing him like Micah Parsons seeing all his Penn State
He's
teammates
next.
going to the Eagles.
He's next.
Like,
Come
hey
on.
guys.
Come on to the dark
I want to
side.
make that
I'll
happen.
gladly take Michael
I would
Parsons,
trade a
boy.
lot of our high money guys to make that happen. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
That would be dope, yo. And he's looking at it. Like, he's like, yo, he was
As
even talking
fantasy.
about it. He was like, bro, they get everybody.
And people are like, we can't
He's
just keep
talking
letting the
about it.
Eagles get away with this stuff. Like, bro, like, what is going on? Like, how is he doing this? Da 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 da. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But like I said, when you have with Saquon, I feel like it's going to work out because Saquon was arguably the best player on the Giants, and we don't need him to be that. I feel like it's going to work out with Jahan because I feel like it changes. This kid is young. He's what, like 26 years old? Like, he's still impressionable. A change of scenery might be good for him, and he's coming home.
Daniel,
Like
you
I just
shaking your
like
head
that.
at the Saquon Barkley thing, but you're
Bro,
going crazy about Jahan Dotson?
I'm not rocking with it, bro. I'm
You're a
telling you, I had
psycho.
a
You're a
dream. I'm
psycho.
going against the grain. I'm not taking him in no fantasy teams. I don't care if Tyquan Barkley's there in the third round. I'm not touching it. Like, I
Don't
am
do it
hoping that
then.
I'm hoping I'm the
Don't do it.
reverse jinx. I'm hoping it's like, when
Yeah.
dad says we're winning the Super Bowl type. Like,
Mhm.
As long as I'm off him, then he's gonna be a beast and all that
Yep.
stuff. Like, because
Be
it makes
awesome.
sense. I'm not. I won't get
Hmm.
up here and say like, oh, like he's not gonna be a good fit. I just had a dream, dog, and it was literally I watched Hard Knocks. Mara said what he said about I'll lose sleep if he goes to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then fast forward to the Green Bay game, and this dude's getting stuffed at the 2 yard line. And I like was like,
Your
wow,
dreams are
like
always the reverse, Daniel. Like he's gonna have the
I'm
best.
just
He
He's
said,
gonna have the
"Wow."
best
I
season.
was heartbroken, bro. It was like, yo, we need this. Like, this is what we paid this
He
money
said,
for. Blah blah blah. He
"Wow."
just got stuffed. Like, lost to one. And I was like,
You
nope,
know,
I'm not doing
Oh,
it. I'm not. So I'm just
that's the
sticking.
not.
I'm staying on that
That's
side. And if and when it
yeah,
works out, God
stay
willing,
there.
then I'll say I was
I'll just
wrong, and
no. You
that's
don't
it.
even
it's
ever have to say you was wrong. Just chill. Just go with it. It is
Yeah,
what it
I'm
is.
gonna
It's our
just.
running
it's
back.
I'm
so
It's
funny
our
that
running
you
back.
say that though, because that's the knock against Saquon. I talk to a lot of Giants fans, and they're like, Saquon's good, but the thing that frustrates me about him is like he's always trying to make the big run, and he doesn't never like. Sometimes he don't get the 2 yard gain that we need. Like he'll be trying to break it,
And that's the
not
difference.
trying to get the tough yards. So I'm
But the
like,
difference is that he doesn't have to do that with the Eagles. He's running behind one of the best offensive lines. He's got Jalen Hurts, who's also a scrambling quarterback and run, and he doesn't need to do that. So he can get 2 or 3 yards. Like it's gonna be so easy for him. I'm telling you.
hey,
Did
I'm
you
on
see the
board with that.
video when they were mic'd up and he was like, I'm hot. I'm mic'd up. Him and Devontae were
I did
mic'd
see
up.
it. I saw it. Yeah.
And Devontae's face when he like juke dude,
Yeah.
and, like, he was like,
That was tough. That almost made me quit, but I was like, nope, still don't care. When I saw him and AJ look at each other, I was like, yo, that's that look, bro. Like, but nah, bro.
You
I'm
know
on this
that
side.
feeling.
I'm on this
You know
side.
that feeling that
you know what
yo,
it
you
is.
saw
You
that.
know what it is. Don't
Because
draft him,
they wouldn't do
but
that
I'm
if it
saying,
wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You
yeah.
know
that was
that
real.
feeling.
But yeah, I gotta stay on this side. But I don't know. I just think all we need Dustin to be is Zacchaeus, bro. Like I'm not looking at it like like I said, I don't think the guy's gonna come here and be Julio Jones. If he comes here and has a season like Aguilar had when we won the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Like all we need is seven. If he has 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, beast. Like he'll be like, you know what I'm saying? Worth the
Hmm.
trade, worth his weight in gold, all that. Because if it wasn't for that, then Brayton Covey was gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
The only
all.
thing I don't like though
Just
is
need
that
serviceable production.
everybody's saying it. Like you got people saying like what? Like if AJ's not open, if Devontae's not open, you still got Dotson. Like
Somebody's
who's
Dream
saying
team.
that
stopping these
when is
guys?
Dodson
Who's
gonna
stopping?
be? Come on, be for real now.
What?
They talking about
You
some.
can't
Oh,
cover everybody, Just. It's like if he's
no, he's
open, he's
Jahan
gonna catch
Dodson,
the
bro. You
ball.
act like we got freaking. I don't know. You act like we got Ayuk or something. Like it's Jahan
Dog.
Dodson, bro.
No. We're acting like we have somebody that can actually catch the ball. Like, do
You're
you
not
know
gonna
we
say
lost the Super Bowl because
disrespect.
who was it? Who dropped the ball in the Super Bowl? Perfect pass from Jalen Hurts, and he dropped it. Like we lost the
let,
Super Bowl because this kid can't catch. We have
let me
somebody
ask
that
you
can
a
catch.
question. If we're watching the Eagles game and you see Avonte Maddox on Jahan Dodson, are you gonna be like, why is Avonte Maddox on Jahan Dodson? No, he's good. Cover him.
No, not on the Eagles because he's a number 3. But I mean,
But
come
that's what I'm
on.
saying. Avonte Maddox isn't that great of a number three. He's good. He's okay. But like, come on,
We'll
bruh.
see,
You
Just.
got
We'll
Avonte
see.
Maddox in the
We'll
slot
see. We'll
nowadays. It's
see.
2024. You got
We
a
don't.
good slot corner on a good defense. Be
He's
for real.
he's too young to be on
Nope.
this team and not be good. At least. I'm not saying he
I'm
has to be
saying
great, but he's gonna
I'm,
be good.
I'm that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying people are being very dramatic when they say stuff like, how are you going to cover all three of those guys? Dog, it's Jahan Dodson, bro. Like, you can
Nah, but
cover, if you can cover AJ and
it's
Devontae, you can have somebody that can cover
but it's
Jahan
not
Dodson,
just
bro.
AJ Devontae. It's AJ Devontae, Saquon, Jalen, Goddard. You got all these other people on offense that you got to cover. So somebody is going to be open, even if it's not him. Like if you keep throwing it to him, then yeah, they're gonna cover him harder, and it might be easier. But somebody else is gonna be open. Like you got so many weapons on offense, so many, and he just adds to it. That's all. He just adds to it.
I think
Don't
he's
say
he's a
no.
fine
He got.
placeholder. I think he's a
He's
fine placeholder, whatever. But like, I'm not gonna be raving about the trade. Like, it's an okay move.
Oh, it was Quez. Quez Watkins dropped the pass. So would you rather have him or Quez?
Justin loves Quez. You don't want to ask him that.
Well, Quez, I mean, Quez kind of soured on me too, but like, I don't know. I gotta watch Jahan Dotson more, but I just I feel like Jahan Dotson would be a guy that would
Well,
drop that pass too, or he wouldn't get
mm,
open on that play. Like
well,
Jahan Dotson's not that fast. Like, be
I'd
for
rather
real.
have Dotson
That that's the
than
fantasy. I'm
Quez.
telling you,
It definitely is.
bro. He's 24, dog. Like I don't. He was on the worst team in the league, darn near. Like
With no quarterback.
you gotta kind
No
of.
quarterback.
I feel you though. It's like show me, but it's also like he's a professional. He's a professional. It's not like we got a guy that's just got camp buzz and we don't know what's going. Like he's a pro. We've seen him produce at the highest level. He's had games where he looks like, wow, this guy's really talented. So if he can put it together, it's gonna be scary. Like that's all people are saying. And it's not just that. I was on Twitter and it was like a Giants fan and he was talking about it and he was like, bro, it's not even that it's Jahan Dotson. It's just that the Eagles had a hole and everyone's talking about who's going to be their wide receiver three.
That's all
And
they
they get to
need.
watch their GM go out, make a move, make a splash play. When they needed a running back, he goes out, he signs one of the best running backs in the league. Me, as a Giants fan, we don't know who our starting corners are
You
going to
talking
be.
about Nick
He was like, we
McLeod?
got. And then he showed the video of Garrett Wilson cooking, bro. Like, he was like, this guy is making Garrett Wilson famous right now because he can't stay in front of him. And we can't do nothing. I was like, but that's the type of stuff. And to me, it's like, he's right. Like, if there's a need, how he's going to make it work. Like, if Jahan Dotson, for whatever reason, looks like a dumpster fire and it's not working, we will shift gears and we will figure it out. But, like, I'm gonna give him his flowers for going and getting a guy that we know is a professional athlete. Like
And I can agree with you on that. We're not just doing what the Giants do. Like how
it's just
we
yeah, like or the Cowboys for that matter. The Cowboys
yeah.
didn't get better in the offseason. We'll see what happens. Everybody's 0-0, but you know,
I do.
I
I love that about Howie Roseman, where it's just like, listen, I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna do the obvious thing, and if it don't work out, at least I
at
tried. You
least I
feel me?
tried. He's playing
At
Yeah.
least I
Madden.
tried.
He's playing
Unlike
Madden.
when Daniel was ticked off at the guy for not taking the obvious pick, which was Justin Jefferson.
I'll
But
never
listen,
forget this.
he said, "I bet next year Heisman winner." Now what?
Learn from his mistake. That's all you can ask. That's all you
Yeah.
can ask.
Yeah.
That is all you can ask.
So I respect him for that,
Absolutely.
and I respect the move for that. Is that he thought he saw a hole. He thought he thinks he's feeling it the right way. I disagree, but we'll see. You know, at least he did
And
something.
I'll add this, and then we can flip the page. Did you see the video where they tried to do the same trade to Madden?
Yeah, that was funny.
And
I
that's
didn't
how
see
you
it.
know.
No,
Bob, you
But
don't play Madden, but for all our Madden players out here, Madden be stingy with the trades. Like you got to give, whatever. So the fact that Madden, you tried to do it, and they were like, absolutely not. Don't have a trade.
they
that
said
is
be more serious about
hilarious.
negotiations.
Right. Exactly.
They said
So
no on Madden. That
they
is
said no.
They didn't
crazy.
say no. They said H no. Like be more serious.
It's like there's like a bar where it shows a level of interest, and it goes from red to yellow to green. It's red. Like it wasn't even like we're thinking about it. It was like, bro, come on
Oh
now.
my
Like,
gosh, I am rolling about that. That is so funny. I can't believe that.
yeah.
That's crazy. Hmm. Well,
All right, we'll
good for
see.
Howie.
I guess the first chance we'll get is September 6th. But all right, this is it. We had our predictions. I guess first 53 man roster. Who would you be, happy to see? Who would you be sad if they get cut? And then let's get into the preview.
Go ahead, Jess.
Oh, me first. All right. So 53 man. Somebody that I really want to see make the team. Let me think. I mean, I feel like everybody that I want to make the team is probably going to make the team. I was hoping that Bradbury was still on the team. I know that people think that he was going to get cut, and it's not looking like he's going to get cut. But I'm just the type of guy where I don't think people forget how to play football like that. Like I think especially DB, it's a
Oh,
hard
he
thing.
doesn't forget how to play football. But Jahan Dotson does, right?
Johnson was not good last year,
But neither
and he
was
played half of his rookie
Bradbury.
season.
And
But
Matt
he
and
was, yeah.
Bradbury lost us the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it. He didn't lose us the Super Bowl, but he was the GOAT. He was the scapegoat for the Super Bowl.
I want to see James Bradbury because I think James Bradbury is going to make a difference this year if he's on the roster. I think if we get injuries or he needs to step in, he's football savvy enough. I like him as a football player. I think he's smart. I think he has good ball skills. I think he's going to make a difference on the team if he's on the roster. So
And I like his personality as a man, not just a football player. But I think he's a genuinely good guy, and he wants to do well. So that makes a difference. And he's young too, right? He's not that old. He's what, 26, 27?
no, he's pushing 30.
Oh, he's
He
pushing
might be
30. Okay.
31.
He's
I feel
only
like
pushing
he's younger
30.
than that. Nothing.
You said we're only pushing 30 in
No, what's
football
wrong with
years as a
pushing 30?
whole.
Yeah.
Kid of Kyrie.
Bad
Uh,
old.
30
Nobody's
is
trading for you in Madden, Daniel.
right.
Yeah, nah, you're right.
Nobody's picking you in their fantasy drafts. Like, it was 27.
That's old
Yeah.
for a running back, but
Yeah,
I feel like
he's
for a DB,
31.
like, oh, he's 31. Okay, older than I thought, but I
Oh,
still
that's
like
old
the
for a
guy.
DB. 30
Yeah.
is old
So,
for a
I mean,
DB.
but so is Slay though. Slay's still doing his thing
Yeah,
though.
Slay's above
Slade
30.
is one of the better DBs
Ageless wonder.
to put on an Eagles uniform.
So I think my guy's actually going to make the team, and I've been saying this from day one. Was Trot Jr. I was hopeful for him, and he seems to be doing well. He seems to be getting a lot of reps with the first guys and everything. So I really like him. I'm glad that it seems like he's going to make the team, and I'm looking forward to good things from that kid. Like they I don't know if you guys know his story, but he's the son of obviously Jeremiah Trotter, who played for the Eagles, and his mom passed away not too long ago. And that was like a big thing. So this was like for their family, this was huge. Like his brother, he has a younger brother, and he plays football as well. And this was like a big thing for him and his family and his father. His father's extremely proud and stuff like that. And everybody's like, how does it feel to have to grow up in your dad's shadow? And he doesn't feel like that at all. You know what I mean? Like he's his own player. He plays with a different style than his father, but he still does the little Axeman thing and everything. It's just a feel good story. I love it. I love the way Howie called him when he got drafted, and he knew his mother and all that stuff. So it's a feel good story, and I'm glad that he's going to actually make the team and be in his father's footsteps. So that
On
makes
the
me
other
feel
side
happy.
of the coin, he probably will make the team, but Brandon Smith, another Penn State guy. I don't know if y'all knew this. Do y'all remember my friend Tyson though from college? I don't know if we kind of fell out after I think sophomore year, but
Yeah.
that's his first cousin. He went to Penn State and he was like, "Yo, my cousin's like a NFL
That's pretty
prospect,
crazy.
this and that." And I saw he signed for the Eagles. I was like, "Yo, that's dope. That's Tyson's little. That's his young bull." Like that was like so seeing him. He's projected to get cut, but just shout out to Brandon Smith. Hopefully, he can figure it out. He's still young. I think he's like 23 years old or whatever.
I
So,
think he got cut.
oh, he already got cut.
I think he did.
I didn't see his name on the first round of cuts.
Let me go back. I have it up right now.
I don't think he'll make the team, but either way, I just wanted to shout that out because that's he's
Yeah, I gotta go on Twitter and see what's going on.
he's a friend of the
Can't
friend.
find it in a pinch, but
Also, what's up with Teron Jackson? He's not gonna make it. That was a guy last year that I thought was not bad. Like he seemed like a pretty good young guy as an edge rusher. Maybe he'll make it over Nolan.
I think Nolan's
Nah,
making the team.
no, they're not gonna do. Yeah, they're not gonna do that. They're
nothing
not
like
gonna
that.
put any of those.
The other one I'm seeing that I don't know is Ricks is making it over Job. Is Ricks better than Job?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
Job
man,
actually
John
played.
Joe.
He just played in this last third preseason game. And Job, he's still got a way to
Oh,
go as far as
he was
I'm
getting
concerned.
cooked. He was the guy getting.
Yeah,
I saw
You
somebody getting
can't.
cooked, and I was like, that guy. I thought it was Ricks. It wasn't Ricks. Didn't Ricks give up the touchdown?
I saw Job do it, and I was like, he might not be ready yet. So, and I was
Yeah,
rooting for that
Job,
guy too, because
even Fangio said that Job holds too much. Like Job can't. I'm so sorry. He's a very good special teamer, and nothing against the guy personally, but like, yeah, he holds.
he's not
He,
ready.
he
He's not ready,
Well, as long
unfortunately.
as Ringo ends up being the guy that we need him to be, then my wish will be fulfilled. So, but cool. All right, next Friday's it. Yo, what I'm worried about is people are sleeping on the Packers. Everyone, I think
Nope.
they are. I think
Nobody's
everyone.
sleeping on
Houston has the hype right now. Houston is like the team that's gonna make the AFC Championship, and they're gonna be the guys to challenge the Chiefs. And they got the three receivers and the running back. But I'm looking at like the season that Stroud had and the season that Love had last year, and I'm like, Love might have had a better year. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, he did more with less.
he's
He
like
started
30.
late. He started late. He started late.
I mean, he's got the Aaron Rodgers, right? Like he sat and
Yes,
learned. What?
he's played NFL football for 4 years,
No, he was on an NFL roster for 4 years.
and he was getting in games.
Nah, bro, come on. Like that was his first year.
Bro,
He
he's like
was,
30. He's like 30 versus somebody fresh out of college. I don't care what you
He
say.
was a rookie.
When
Yeah.
you switch levels, it's an adjustment, bro. Like you have to get over that straight adjustment of switching levels from high school to college to the NFL. That's an adjustment when you're making that switch. So
and so
Stroud
is
doing what
going
he
from being
did.
a backup to a starter. When you're the guy, when they trade away the franchise player, and now millions of people that love the Green Bay Packers are depending on you, the weight of the world's on your shoulders, and you got to put up or shut up. It's an adjustment.
But
And
you
with
gotta your offense
Romeo
succeed in
Dobbs
game.
and a bunch of rookies as your receivers, it's not exactly, you know what I mean, sunshines and rainbows. The Green Bay Packers were projected, I'm pretty sure, like they started the season 30th in the power rankings when the preseason projections came out.
The Texans had the number 2 pick.
Yeah, and that's what. All right, so it's comparable. All I'm saying is everybody's on Stroud now. Stroud got his flowers. Love, on the other hand, that guy got paid. He got paid what?
They're
He
ranking
got
up above Jalen Hurts. I think that's mad. And
bro.
I'm low, like I'm fine with people being low on Hurts, but ranking Love above Hurts is crazy. Putting
They
him
didn't
up
rank him
in
above
top.
it. That's the way contracts work. Where did you see him ranked above Hurts?
He's
Any
ranked above.
analyst, any NFL
Hmm.
analyst that has ranked quarterbacks, they have Love above Hurts.
They do.
That's premature. It's not
That's
ludicrous, but it's
crazy.
premature.
Crazy.
Love
It's
can
actually crazy.
Love can play, yo. And that's what
Nobody says he
that's
can't play. Nobody's saying that he can't play. I'm just not scared of him. Put it that way. It might be a good game. It's probably going to be a good game, and I'm anxious to see the two quarterbacks battle it out. But I'm not. I'm just not scared of Jordan Love and that whole team. Like our team is way better than that team on offense. Now our
it's
defense, our
Uh,
defense, I don't know, but on offense,
that
our team is
that's
way
what I'm
better.
saying. What scares me is Josh Jacobs about the Packers. Like Josh Jacobs is he's an eagle killer. I feel like that.
yeah, buddy. And like that's what I'm saying. This is shaping up like a David versus Goliath type of. You know what it kind of reminds me of, and like on a lower scale maybe is like the Lions Chiefs opener from last year, where it's like you just think like, oh yeah, like the Packers are nice, but they're not gonna beat the Eagles. You know what I mean? The same way we were like the Lions, they got a good little squad. They had the hard knocks, whatever, but they're not gonna beat the Chiefs. But they might, neutral stadium. You know what I mean? Eagles have some question marks. Like you said, Justin, the rust of not having played all preseason, and then Packers are another one of those teams where like defensive pedigree is a thing for them. Like they expect to have a good defense every year. I'm just saying I can see the upset. Like I know I always play devil's advocate. Mom's probably like, I don't want to hear this, whatever. But
Okay.
it feels like we shouldn't. We're not. It's going to be a closer game than what
It
people will
definitely. I'm not
probably.
saying it's going to be a cakewalk. I'm just saying our offense is way better than their offense. Now,
And I
defense
don't even think
wise,
so. I don't think that's
it
fair.
is. Definitely, if you go player for player, our offense is definitely better than their offense.
Right now, the
Definitely better.
Eagles are
We
3
have the
point
better.
favorites. So I guess it's not as crazy as I thought. I guess people are expecting the Packers to
Yeah,
be a little
Packers
bit.
are one of them teams because they like
And the
Jordan
line
Love.
moved because the line was even closer than that, and then the line moved. I forget when the line moved. It wasn't because of the Dodson pickup, but it was like just before that something else happened and they moved the line to 3. But it was like 1.5 at first, so it's gonna be a close
Wow.
game. It's gonna be a close game.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to keep like a level head. Like I knew people were gonna be down on Hurts like going into the offseason, but like yeah, seeing consistent Jordan Love above Hurts is like that to me is a slap in the face. And
Infuriating.
I
It is. It's
I need
infuriating.
Hurts to come out and
And people are making
301
it
had
seem like Jalen's season was that terrible. Like the kid did go 10-1 last year, like before the thing fell apart. But I mean, like, damn.
That's not the knock on Hurts, though. The knock on Hurts is that he's a silver spoon. He has everything handed to him. He doesn't have to actually work. Like so,
God
What?
it's kind of
forbid.
like it's kind of a lose lose for him because if he does produce, it's like I could have done that. But if he doesn't produce, then it's like, how did you not produce with all
Jalen
that
Hurts is
talent?
the only quarterback that gets penalized for having talent around him. Every quarterback that has done well has talent. I don't care who it is. It's Joe Burrow, it's Josh Allen, it's Dak Prescott. Any quarterback who does well has talent. You cannot penalize him because his general manager gets him weapons. That's not his fault.
So this is the year to prove it, that's what I think. Like spotlights on Hurts. If you ask me, that like it's
And
gonna
I'm
come
not
down to
worried
that.
about that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not worried
I'm
about
cool
that.
with
I'm
that.
not worried about
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I know he's gonna ball out.
that's what it's going to come down to. Who has a better quarterback? Because I think the Packers probably have a better defense, but I think our offense is a juggernaut offense on paper. So we shouldn't really struggle with them. And I think if Hurts is who we all say he is,
The Packers,
then
I think an underrated thing about the Packers, they have a pretty good secondary. They
Jair
have Jair
Alexander.
Alexander, and they have
Yeah.
the guy on the other side is good too. He can't
Stokes.
remember his name. He went to Georgia. What happened?
Stokes.
Stokes. Yeah, Stokes. He can play a little bit too. So I do like the Packers secondary. I like Quay Walker at
And they
linebacker.
signed McKinney.
Yeah, Xavier McKinney. I forgot they did sign Xavier McKinney.
And they
So
still
like
got Gary and Preston Smith.
Rashawn Gary's coming back from injury. They got Preston Smith. They have a good team. Kenny
They got
Clark on
Quay
the
Walker.
interior.
Like,
Yeah,
they nice, bro.
yeah.
It's gonna
They
be
have a good defense.
it's gonna
And
be a
and
good Friday Night Lights game. That's all. I'm just
Yeah.
the
excited to see some
the
football. That's all.
Packers are a good football team, so it's going to be a good game.
Hmm.
It's going to be a good game. So
Yeah.
I'm not thinking this is going to be an easy win by any means, and it's definitely a game where the Eagles can make us mad. So I ain't not putting no hopes into it. I'm just
So do we
So
want to save our first week predictions? Well, all right, we'll save our first week predictions because it's not until next Friday. But and we'll meet again before then. We'll meet again on Sunday. So what we'll do? What do you think the Eagles' record is going to be? How many wins do you think they're going to have this year? What's your projection for that?
uh I think without looking at the schedule, I think 11-6 is fair.
I ain't gonna
11 and
hold you.
6.
We lose 6 games this year with the roster we got.
Well, the schedule. Well, let me look at the schedule. Packers week 1, Falcons week 2. Those should be 2 wins, but they could easily be 2 losses.
Yeah, I don't
But
like going game by game because you can never predict what's gonna happen. I'm just saying in a vac in general. Like
Saints should be a win. Buccaneers, who knows? They
we're
dogged us
beating the
last
Bucks.
year.
Yes, we're beating the Bucks.
It's
I
at
don't care.
they house. Baker Mayfield is that type of dude, Joe, where he's like pride will make him play above his means. He's not. He beat the Eagles 32-6 last year. He ain't losing to them in his
Yeah, that was
crib
a
this year.
playoff game. This game is just a regular
Exactly.
game. That it's different. It's a different season in the playoffs.
Browns.
No, we're beating them.
All right, I hope so. Giants.
Next question.
All right, that's a dub. I ain't worried about it. I'm not
don't
gonna
try and
pretend
do
to be
that.
worried about the Giants. Bengals. It's a good game,
That's a
man.
good game. That's a
Although I
good
will
game.
say
I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
as big on the
they're
Bengals.
not gonna be hard fought games. I'm just saying that we should win. But I just want to know how many wins you think we're gonna have in general. Like going through it.
Well, that's why I said 11-6 would be good because now I'm looking at it and I'm like these are good teams. We got Bengals, we got Jaguars. That's a good team. That's a potential playoff team. Cowboys. I'm gonna say we're sweeping the division because I don't think anybody can hold our shoes this year.
That's an
Got Commanders.
irresponsible statement to make.
I don't, bro. They
I'm
stink.
used to it.
Nobody prepared. You can look at people that did their homework and people that didn't, and I just don't feel like the rest of the
We got
division did their
better,
homework.
and the rest of the division didn't.
Maybe the
Period.
Commanders. That's like the
I
dark
mean, they got
horse,
a
I think.
quarterback finally, but I mean, like we got better, and everybody else didn't.
The Rams, the Ravens. Like there's no really cakewalk games. We play the Panthers. All right. The Steelers is never a cakewalk.
Can we ever just get a good schedule? Like, what the heck is
You
this?
see what I'm saying? Like the
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 year we
schedule
went
is
to the Super
tough,
Bowl, we
yo.
had a good schedule. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we had a good
Dang, bro,
schedule.
we gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get beat up all in the season, the regular season, and then by the time it's
Nah,
time for the
but last
postseason,
year we thought we had that little gauntlet too, and we got through the gauntlet. It was after
no,
the
we did
No,
not.
gauntlet.
we didn't.
No,
We did.
the end
We
of it,
beat
No.
we
the
thought we were
Bills.
getting through the
We
gauntlet.
beat
We
we
started
beat the
2-0 and then we lost the next three. That's what
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
We got through
And
the
we
first
should
couple
have
and it was
beat
like,
Seattle. Yeah, I
well
don't know.
maybe they can do it. And then it was like
Yeah,
Niners smacks, Cowboys smacks. Like
it was that Niners game.
it
That
got
Niners game
bad.
broke us. That Niners game, I think they were. I think that's what made the wheels fall off that game. They just loosened the bolts on that shit. That was
Yeah,
it.
I can set a team in the wrong direction. What
But
I will say is I like in division games for the last three. They're going to be hard fought, but Commanders, Cowboys, Giants, two of the three at home.
division games are
If
always hard. They
but
always
if
play
they're
us hard.
must-win games, I like the
When are we
first one.
going to Dallas?
I
We
think the
go to
first game we go.
Dallas the first game.
Okay, first game in Dallas. Probably gonna be a loss, but
They
like,
usually beat us at their crib. Yeah,
yeah,
they usually.
it's hard to beat Dallas in their stadium, especially the Eagles.
But they stink, man. Like if I'm a Cowboys
Daniel, who
fan,
did they
I'm like,
lose to the point that you're saying they stink?
what?
Who did they lose that you're saying they stink?
Trent Williams or not Trent? Tyron Smith. They lost. Um, they don't have a running back. Um, they're still relying on Brandon Cooks, who's starting to be a mid-30 receiver as their number two. Is Michael Gallup ever like what I'm like? Who like Jake Ferguson is like the guy this year? Like Jake
Jake
Ferguson?
Ferguson was making plays last year.
Oh,
Like,
like you see what I'm saying? Jake Ferguson and Jahan Dotson are the same thing. I don't care. Like you're not gonna convince me that Jake Ferguson is this like budding star and Jahan Dotson is not. Like no, I don't. I don't know. I mean, Trayvon Diggs was out all year last year. They still have Parsons, but like they lost Gilmore. What do they do?
but they kept their core together. They kept their quarterback. They kept their star receiver. They still got Micah Parsons. They're getting Trayvon Diggs back at all pro corner. Like, I mean, they kept their core together. They're not just gonna stink. Like, they didn't lose everybody. They just didn't make any additions like we did.
I don't think they're gonna stink either. But
I
they're not
think they
winning the
might stink.
division. I think we're winning the division.
And it's not like they're like an NFC champion. It's not like they're the Niners. You know what I'm saying? Like the Niners didn't get better, but they were already there. So them not losing their core makes a difference. The Cowboys haven't won a playoff game since what, the 90s?
Yeah, that has to do with their players like playing
Well,
well
that's what I'm
in the
saying.
regular
Well, when
season.
that's the case and you don't make your team better, what do you think's going to happen the next year? You think you're just automatically going to figure it out? Like they're a joke.
Right.
I just don't. I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said. I think we're. That's my bold prediction of the podcast this week is we're going 6-0 in the division, dog. Because they just didn't. They're not. They didn't prepare like we did. They didn't put the work in. The rest of the games, I don't know. I don't know if we're beating the Bengals. I don't know if we're beating the Ravens. I don't know if we're beating the all those teams, the Rams and all that. But the division, we should own the division this year, yo. Like straight up. my
All
two
right,
cents.
Justin, what's you? So you're giving 11-6. Justin, what's yours?
11-6.
13-4.
Yo, he's crazy.
I'm
We
not
don't have
losing
a
six games,
defense,
bro.
bro. Our defense stinks. How we gonna be
I'm
13
not
and four
losing
with no
six games,
defense?
bro. I'm not losing. It's Vic Fangio, bro. He
Because
gonna figure it out. I'm not losing six games,
he's
bro.
gonna figure it out, and because our offense is awesome. That's why our offense is gonna put up
I'm not
points.
losing six games, bro. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Not
13
with
and
this
4.
team.
Sheesh.
So I'll give my realistic and I'll give my bold prediction. I'm with Justin. I'm with 13-4. I'm with 13-4. I feel like 4 games tops, and that might only be because we already have the division in lock and we sit the starters for the last couple of games of the season. So yeah, 13-4. I'm with it. But we could very well emulate those New England Patriots and
All
go
right,
for a
Dale.
perfect season.
And
I
end
said
it.
it's a bold
End it.
prediction.
End it. You say that every year.
Perfect. Okay. 1 year I'm gonna get it right. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, Justin. A broken clock is right twice a day.
We hope you guys enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll see you guys
What?
next week.
14. 14
Thanks for
wins.
tuning in to the Bird's Nest. We're just a family that loves the birds. We appreciate y'all tuning in.